Hello, my name is David Criscuolo. I am a sophomore music education major here at Towson. I have been with the marching band for 2 years now and plan to continue for as long as I can. I have 1 year of experience with the Towson University Winter Guard, and I am also marching Cavaliers this summer. Our marching experience is mostly done on a football field. When it comes to giving instructions based on location, timing, and coordination to a 200-person marching band, things can get really hectic, really fast. The best way we can mitigate this is by communicating to each other using a spoken language of terms dictating where we are on the field and at what time. Now, it does get a little mathematical at times, but bear with us, it does get easier the more you do it. During a marching band rehearsal, we essentially turn the football field into a coordinate grid. This grid system has an X coordinate and a Y coordinate. Your left and right are determined by the yard line you stand on, which is how many yards away from the end zone you are. For example, the 40-yard line is 40 yards away from the end zone. Your back to front positioning is dictated by your relation to the sidelines or hashes. There are 2 of every yard line except for the 50. In order to determine which side you're on, we specify by declaring if we're on side 1 or side 2. They read left to right from the audience's perspective, but it's flipped for the performer since we are facing the audience. So don't let that confuse you. One nifty way to remember this is by remembering that most college marchers turn 21 when they are in college. Now that we know our way in terms of dividing the field up into neat sections and labeling them into a system for communication, we can locate more specific parts of the field using our step sizes. Remember those 8 to 5 steps we've been cramming into your brain through practice and exercise? This is where we use it as the building block to determine your position on the field. Since we're performers, and we look at the field from the perspective of performers who play for an audience at the front sideline, we look at our field from a bird's eye view with the front sideline at the top of the field. Let's start with our left to right positioning. Whenever we're communicating that a dot lies directly on top of any yard line, we say that we are on this yard line. For example, we are on the 50, or we are on the 30-yard line, side 1, because remember there are 2 of every yard line except for the 50. Whenever we communicate that we aren't directly on a yard line, we first need to communicate how far off of it we are. This is where the 8 to 5 comes in. Our drill will be systematically written in a way where we get to count off our left to right through 8 to 5 step sizes. If we want to get to the location that puts us on our left to right coordinate, we have to first start out on the line that our dot guides us to, and then take that many 8 to 5 steps off the line. These are the small details that make our targets as precise as possible. If we aim for an incredibly small target and miss, we're still extremely close to our target. Aim small, miss small. Once we've figured out our left to right coordinate, the next step is the front to back coordinate. We only have 4 references for our front to back positioning, including the 2 sidelines and the 2 hashes. Luckily, when we rehearse on fields, we will have references to tell us where 4-step intervals are using the GACs that are on the field. We can gauge similar visual cues by looking at the inserts that are on the sidelines for our side-to-side measurement. Though the inserts separate our side-to-side intervals by increments of 5, we can still use those inserts to visualize our left-to-right position by up to 4 steps. The reason it stops at 4 is because 4 is the halfway point between 2 yard lines. We always use the smallest number possible when describing positions on the field. Since the field is the mechanism where we learn our positioning, we are given the opportunity to learn how to work within its limitations for our field show. This language will develop with your time on the field, and the technology we use on the field certainly helps with your development of these reading skills. And remember, if you're ever confused, you can always ask a section leader for help.